to go back through your person's career, take a look at it, see what they've done, and just look at how you've crossed, how your paths have crossed, or how he's affected. Because even though when we go to different jobs, when we do different missions, we may see, hey, my mission is significant, or hey, I'm just doing this small part. I hand out papers here, or I just write some orders here, and we don't realize how we affect the big picture. Senior Chief joined the Navy in 1970. I won't say when you were born, so I'll leave that one out here. But I really feel sorry that you're going, because now it's just one lesson. I can look and say, hey, those older guys can take care of it. Now I don't have that many. Not that you're old. You're young and you're starting a new career. But Senior Chief joined in 1970 at Sangley Point, in the Philippines. Came to recruiting. He went to recruit training in San Diego in 1970. In 71, he went to an area that pretty much had the same environment, same atmosphere as the Philippines, San Diego. He was assigned to USS Wasp in Point, Rhode Island. Wasn't much of an adjustment, right? After he enjoyed the New England winter, which I'm sure he loved, I think if I'm not mistaken, from 1971, after he left Quonset Point, it was probably until 1989 until he came back for a permanent duty in the U.S. Is that correct? Rhode Island made a big impact on me, I can tell. And if you look at it, after the Wasp, Senior Chief went to Rota, Spain. Was Rota, Spain, signed to the Holland, the YTB, MAHOA, AHOA. Okay, YTB, worked at the Naval Station Galley in Rota, Spain. After Rota, Spain, thought about coming back to Rhode Island. Said no. He said, send me somewhere deployed. Went back to Naples on there's a PG. We had PGs stationed over in Naples for a while, the Grand Rapids. I had a CO that was on one of them. Captain Parada was on one of the PGs. He said he loved it, one of the best tours, but again, over in Naples. After Naples, Sigonella. Was in Sigonella for up until 80, and then went over to, he was looking for orders back here, but I just volunteered for Officer 460, logistics. Stayed over in the Med. After staying in the Med, 83, 84, another interesting point. You look at how people's careers and influence. When Senior Chief was over there, when his family was over at that time, Senior Chief worked on logistics over in the Med on 6th Fleet. Logistics, personnel transfers, getting people from one place to another. He worked on getting mail over from stateside of the country back. If you think that's not an important task, you just don't know what's going. You haven't been deployed for long. That's one of the big ones. And I said, you look at how people interface with you. From 80 to 84, I made 3 meds. During that time, I didn't realize that Senior Chief was one of the people behind, making sure that I got to where I was going. My mail got to me, so that was a dramatic impact on my life during that time. I won't say that I almost took a train to Austria and didn't make it to where I was going, but we'll talk about that later. After Naples, which was a big one, Senior Chief got orders to the USS LaSalle. And I believe I looked at the LaSalle's roster at one time. LaSalle is home port out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So Senior Chief came back home. Not so. LaSalle was the flagship for the Persian Gulf at that time. That was one of those hitches. If you looked at it in any type of documentation, LaSalle, you think you were going to Philly. Nah, they were out deployed. So Persian Gulf tour. After that, Senior Chief came back for Norfolk for a supply school, and then went back to the USS Orion in La Maddalena, Italy. So again, just couldn't get back to that nice weather in Rhode Island. In In '87, Senior Chief went to school in Athens, commissary school in Athens, Georgia, and followed on by a commissary store in Gulfport, Mississippi, as Gulfport store officer. So that was in '87. After that, Senior Chief went back to supply store school in Athens, and then reported to Fillalan in 1989. After that, we got assigned to the Guadalcanal, which is here in Norfolk. So now we're getting back into the stateside environment after the Guadalcanal, and served on there as stock controller, division LCPO, and repair locker leader. You would have known that. You would have been on our damage control training team. You lucked out of that. And after that, we were lucky enough to have Senior Chief come to the ACU2, where he served for 2 years. And I just point out why do I think it's important to read that? One of our missions, of course, in the military, not just the Navy, is we've been designated. People don't like the word the world police force, but we sort of take that on. We're a world of power, and even as forward deployed, how do we do our business? We forward deploy troops. We forward deploy. We put our presence. We let our presence known throughout the world. Senior Chief has done that. Has done that probably more than most people I know. So that's why I bring that career. And he's affected. You just look at that. Look at the hundreds and thousands of people that have gone through and been affected by his job and how he's done it, and he's done it outstanding. So that's I need to point that out, and I want to bring that to your attention. Senior Chief again has served well here at ACU2, and as I look back through his record, he has nothing but accolades throughout through his other tours, wherever they may have taken him. He did the job. He did it well. When I first came here, I think Senior Chief was at school or was somewhere else, and we were sort of mixed up. So I came, not mixed up, but we had a different way of doing things at ACU2. I came in and we were doing some logistics and buying things, looking for repair parts, and I remember that there were some people who were involved in getting repair parts and getting things, and they don't normally do that job. And I sort of, what is going on? I said, why are these people involved in this? You know, their job is something else. It's their expertise is in another area. And as I looked through the roster, all of a sudden I saw, here's Senior Chief SK. Good grief! You know, what's going on here? What are we doing? So at that point we said, hey, hey, Senior Chief, this is our requirements. This is what we need to have happen. And within about 24 hours, what we were lacking arrived at the command, and I've done nothing except that. When we needed his support, needed his assistance, it's been there. It's been there sometimes, it's been there before times, he's followed things through. So he's done an outstanding job here. The Senior Chief continues to be an asset to the Navy. He will continue to be an asset to the Navy, even when even after today, after his retirement. Why do I say that? Because he's going to be a positive contributor to society, and that in this fact is probably one of the greatest things that we can do to show what the Navy does and how the Navy does things. When Senior Chief, when people go out, when people leave the Navy, the big thing is the total person, the total picture. Senior Chief brings that. Senior Chief with his family will bring that to society, and that's great. Even though I hate to see him go, can I continue to use a Senior Chief SK in my command? Yeah, you bet. However, he's done his time. He's put it in here. He's going to move on. So in the bigger picture, he's now going on to let people know where he came from, what his experiences were, and just by the way he does his job, they'll see what the Navy has to offer. in this being a political year, again, the politicians continue to talk about things that they'd like to be, things they'd like to see, the way that things should go, and that's really, as I look at our campaign, that's all they can do is talk about it. Seeing Chief Fillalan has lived that. He does the things that they'd like to do. They'll continue to do that. In the bigger picture, the politicians, again, President Clinton, Senator Dole, who continue to go around and talk free speech, continue to tell how things should happen. The reason they're able to do that is because of our military, is because of our commitment, is because of our forward presence, is because of people, especially at this time, Senior Chief Fillalan, who's done this thing well throughout the world. That's why they have a platform. That's why they can espouse what they want to say. That's why they can come forward and tell us how well we're doing. And if you notice the speeches, if you notice the platform, the military world power rule, it's in there. It'll continue to be in there. Senior Chief has left his mark. He's left his dedication, his experience with everyone he's touched. With hundreds of thousands of people, military and civilian. And that's his legacy. That's what he leaves with us. And that's all we can ask, and he's done that well. The only other thing that essentially that I'll say is a plus as far as the environmental side is that the crab population here at Little Creek will probably double and triple senior Chief. Thank you for that. But again, I want to thank you for coming here to express my gratitude and appreciation to the Senior Chief's family for coming, not only for coming, but for supporting him throughout his career, and to continue to look forward, and I look forward to hearing about how the next part of his career is going, because it's out there for all of us. It's just the Senior Chief's turn today. So as we move on in the ceremony, I wish you farewell and follow the seas.
Thank you, Fillalan. Please step to the podium. Assault Chapter 2. Again, Commander Troop will now present Senior Chief Fillalan with the award. Department of the Navy. This is certified that the Secretary of the Navy has awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, Gold Star in lieu of 4th Award to Senior Chief Storekeeper Surface Warfare, Aviation Warfare, Francisco S. Fillalan, United States Navy, for professional achievement and the superior performance of his duties while serving as Assistant Supply Officer and Leading Storekeeper assigned to Starcraft Unit 2 from October 1994 to September 1996. Senior Chief Fillalan's relentless efforts to bring 17 landing craft units to 100% material readiness significantly improve the overall mission accomplishment of HU2 and support group and squadron command tasking. His leadership and unmatched technical expertise were further evidenced by overall excellent scores in Stores Division during the LMA in May 1995. Senior Chief Fillalan's exceptional professionalism and selfless devotion to duty reflected great credit upon himself and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Given this day, September 1996, W.R. Fillalan, Rear Admiral, United States Navy, Commanding Amphibious Group 2. From Commanding Officer Assault Craft Unit 2 to Senior Chief Francisco S. Fillalan, letter of appreciation. On the occasion of your retirement after 26 years of active naval service, I wish to take this opportunity on behalf of the President of the United States, the Secretary of the Navy, and the Chief of Naval Operations to express my sincere appreciation for the honorable and faithful service you have rendered to your country. I sincerely hope your long and active career has been as beneficial to you as it has been to the Navy, and you will continue to feel you are part of us as you return to civilian life. I view your departure of service with regret, but it is with pride in your service that I say, well done. It is with the greatest pleasure that I highly recommend you without reservation to any organization which may seek your talent. I am confident that you will fulfill all duties with the same cooperative spirit, initiative, and willingness and you are displayed during your naval service. Your shipmates and friends join me in wishing you good health and happiness, and fair wind and falling seas. Certificate of appreciation for service in the Armed Forces of the United States. I extend to you my personal thanks and sincere appreciation of our nation for your honorable service. You help to maintain the security of the United States of America with a devotion to duty that is in keeping with the proud tradition of our armed forces. I honor your service and respect the commitment and loyalty you displayed over the years. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Bill Clinton, Commander-in-Chief. Fleet Reserve of the United States Navy. This is to certify that Francisco S. Fillalan, Storekeeper Senior Chief, was transferred from active duty to the Fleet Reserve of the United States Navy on the 31st day of October 1996 after 26 years of service. This certificate is awarded as a testimony of faithful and honorable service. Signed, G.R. Toothman, Commander of the United States Navy. Seal and alphabet present to Mrs. Fillalan with a certificate of appreciation. Certification of appreciation from the United States Navy to all who shall see these presents reading. This is to certify that Josefa G. Fillalan has earned grateful appreciation for her unselfish, faithful, and devoted service during her husband's naval career. Her unfailing support and understanding helped to make possible her husband's lasting contribution to the Navy, given this day, 6th day of September 1996. Arden Free McKinney will now read and present Mrs. Fillalan the Navy Wife Certificate.
First of all, I would like to say, thank you, Jesus, for great working with you. The honor to be your wife. When the devil wants to bring Navy wives, he brings
MS C. Topham will now present the parting gift on behalf of the Chief Petty Officer of Assault Craft Unit 2.
Your chief, I'd like to tell you with shadow boxing, list all your duty statements. Picture of somebody you may recognize, but I'm not real sure. It's like younger days. On behalf of the Chiefs of the presenting with this flag, the inscription reads, "May your journeys be short, may your memories be long. CCU2, CPO Medicine."
Every time she wants to know, get to know alone. For my kids.
And on behalf of command, I'd like to present you with the command flag.
Assault Craft Unit 2, parade dress. Ladies and gentlemen, Storekeeper Surface Warfare, Air Warfare, Senior Chief Petty Officer Francisco S. Fillalan.
That is, guys. Well, what a beautiful day this turned out to be. I am blessed to have a second chance to be able to have a retirement ceremony. Some people in North Carolina and Virginia did not have that second chance. They perished because of Hurricane Fran, 6 September 1996, the original date of this ceremony. I pray that they rest in peace. Good morning, Captain Tobo, EXO, distinguished guests, shipmates, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your attendance on my retirement ceremony today. First, I would like to thank God for giving me the strength, physically and mentally, and guiding me to do the positive things which helped me throughout my career. My parents could not be here today. I want to thank them for providing me with a good example of family values, which I am sharing with my children. I miss my father, who passed away 14 years ago. He taught me that hard work, commitment, and dedication to duty always pays big dividends. I want to thank my wife for standing by with me all the way and understanding the responsibilities that Navy wives must endure to care of her. Without your support, faith, dedication to our marriage, and trust in me, especially during deployments, I may not be here today. To my children, for being behaved and respected members of the community, I'm proud of you guys. I thank Saltcraft Unit 2 for the preparation of this event. From admin, armory, operations, safety, maintenance, LC and supply departments, you have done a wonderful job. I appreciate Transition Assist program, which encouraged me that I have to have a retirement ceremony in order to close this chapter of my life and begin anew and look forward for the best that yet to come. And from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank very much the American people who I respect and admire dearly for giving me the opportunity to serve the best armed forces in the world of the greatest country on earth. I told you I was not going to cry, but let's move on. 26 years ago in Sangi Point, Cavite City, Philippines, I joined the Navy. The recruiter's interview question was rather simple, but I was so nervous that I did not have the audacity to ask him that I needed to go to the bathroom, since I had been in line waiting to be interviewed early that morning. I was worried that he could tell me to go and never come back, for there were over 100 applicants and only a handful would be processed for enlistment. I managed to hold on until the interview was over. Why do you like to join the Navy? He asked. My answer was rehearsed. I have been dreaming of joining the Navy since I was in the elementary grade, and the right moment has arrived for me to say what the reasons were. My response was spontaneous. Number 1, to see the world. Number 2, good pay. Number 3, free food, lodging, and clothing. He looked at me and said, "They're not free. What else?" I looked back at him trying to figure out what else did I miss. Then coming out of nowhere from the tip of my tongue, I said, "Girls in every port." I mention that because from what I heard from my uncle, who joined the Navy eons ago, that sailors do have birds in every port. Although it could be true to some, but just a sea story to others. Bingo. You Filipinos have your priorities straight, he said, smiling. Growing up in Olongapo City have its advantage, and I will tell you later about disadvantage during my boot camp days. The advantage was during that interview, the recruiter asked me where did I learn to speak English better than other applicants who are already college educated. I said, from shining shoes of U.S. servicemen in Magsaysay Drive and Rizal Avenue in Subic. He just smiled, and that was the end of the interview. I passed. 35 other young Filipino recruits left with me for boot camp in San Diego. On Thanksgiving Day, 1970, American Airlines flight stewardesses served us turkey for dinner. When we arrived at Treasure Island in San Francisco, turkey was the main course at the galley. And again, turkey dinner was being served when we arrived in San Diego. I have no idea what's up with turkey being served everywhere that day. I called him overgrown chicken since I have never had turkey before in my life. And I was loving it. Rice was not on the menu. I had to settle down for potatoes and stuffing. I later found out that turkey is associated with Thanksgiving. It is a long-standing tradition of my host country. So it will also become a part of my life forever, for which I give thanks for becoming a citizen of this great country. The disadvantage of growing up in Subic is that you get to be picked on by sailors who have been stationed and passed through Subic. In boot camp days, during an inspection in ranks, when our company was being inspected by the brigade commander, upon coming to inspect me, he asked me where am I from in the Philippines, and I said from Olongapo City. He looked at me from head to toe and said, "I remember you. You're the one who grabbed my Timex when I was there on Liberty." I was so scared, thinking that he might send me back home because of mistaken identity. After the inspection, my company commander talked to me and said that he does that to all the recruits from Olongapo, and that the inspector was really a nice guy. Right. He was. I did not have to give him 50 push-ups either. He said that my belt buckle is not touching metal to metal. Although I know that my uniform is squared away, but who in the right mind would argue with an inspector? Boot camp is where I began to mature, independent from my parents and looking forward for a brighter future in the Navy. I'll share with you a true story of my innocence when I first came into this country. One beautiful Sunday morning, while all of us Filipino recruits from Company 450 were outside the barracks, shining shoes and talking about future duty stations, our company commander approached us and asked jokingly if we were prejudiced. My comrades and I looked at each other, waiting to see who would respond to his question. I looked at the company commander with assurance and blurted out, "No, sir. We are all Catholics. Catholic Mass will start in about 2 hours." He was stunned, perhaps due to my sincerity and the very serious facial expression of everybody else. He shook his head, did not say a word, and walked out. At that time, I honestly did not know, neither did the rest of Filipino recruits, what the word meant, thinking that it was another religion, since there are so many out here. I did not remember that word being mentioned when I was growing up, and neither did I directly experience it here. Our bunch was the first Filipino recruits to become non-designated strikers because of a congressional act later issued to the fleet by Secretary of the Navy, the Honorable John Warner. The CNO was Admiral M. Zumbo. The instructions stated that all Filipino recruits can strike for other ratings if they are qualified and no longer will have to be a steward if they so desire. I was bound to be a non-designated seaman. USS Was, at the S-18, was my first duty station. I became a storekeeper striker from there to an unfortunate experience while I was working for the deck department. I fell over the side with another seaman while we were painting the side of the ship. The ship was in port at Ponce Point, Rhode Island on a very cold morning of March 1972. At that moment, while my lips are black and blue from cold and haze spray oozing from my head to my eyes, the coldness of the water and chunks of ice around me did not bother me at all. All I could think of was, if I had just stayed as a steward, I did not have to be stopped at 8th grade, main class, rock guard watches, cold winter nights during lookout watches, or fall overboard. No regrets though for working with the tech department. It helped me during my East-West qualification. I was able to name all the animals in the forecastle. Of course. And to tell the difference between escuela and granina. You remember that one, you were on my board. Lucky enough, after 3 months of mess cooking for the CPO mess and 3 months being a deck seaman, the ship's chief supply clerk, Chief Officer Craig, gave me a chance to work in GSK to begin as storekeeper striker. I could bore you all day with plenty of my other experiences of 26 years, from being a helmsman of a gunboat, while we cut into formation of a Russian naval task force and being chased away very close by a Regal-class destroyer, to performing aerobics in jumping jacks on a flight deck so that we could free the ship from being stuck in the mud. Starting my last CDO watch in the Navy during Hurricane Bertha. But I'm sure that one way or another, most of you have been where I've been, did what I've done, and loving it until the last minute of being associated with the Navy. In all seriousness, I would like to leave you with our younger sailors a few thoughts about military professionalism. Military service is unique, governed of necessity by a special set of moral, ethical, and behavioral standards that distinguish it from society at large. We in the military have traditionally taken pride in the high standards of their calling and have made it a point of honor to ensure that those standards are not compromised or degraded through ignorance, neglect, indifference, or expediency. The uniform is worn with pride and as an indicator for all to see that we are members of a select group of citizens who are entrusted with a great responsibility for the defense of our country. Be proud when you wear this uniform. You are a special kind of people. The other item I would like to convey to both seniors and juniors about professionalism is in the military is the strengthening of the chain of command. The chain of command forms a framework for everything that we do. Inherent in a properly functioning chain of command is the special trust and confidence that each echelon of the chain must bestow on the other, and that each individual in the chain must earn and protect. Without such trust and confidence in one fellow's workers, it is impossible for one individual to rely on another. Without that reliance, proper delegation of authority is impossible, and delegation is the strongest or the weakest link in the chain of command. Individuals who show by their actions that they are not deserving of trust and confidence may be punished or replaced. However, lack of trust and confidence in a few people must not be allowed to spoil the special relationships among the vast majority of personnel or to abrogate the principle of delegation that makes the chain of command work. I'm leaving the Navy with great confidence to those who will carry on in the future. I am deeply honored to have served with some of the most outstanding naval officers and leaders who have trusted in my personal ability to carry assigned tasks without hesitation. I am proud and honored to have served with subordinates who have done it under my leadership. I would like to congratulate some of them who are with us today. SKC Beverly just made SKC last Monday. He was my SKSN in 1995 on the USS LaSalle. SKC Maurer, he was my SKSN in 1985. He made SKC last year. SKC Soriano, he made SKC last Monday. He was my financial storekeeper in ACU in 1994. I hope somehow I have contributed to the positive shaping of their careers, as I have gained professionally from them. My plan for the future is like many others who went through a career transition, to seek for another job where there are always bills to be paid, and perhaps continue college education and finish up a degree. My ultimate goal is to enjoy real time in Spain with my beautiful wife, and visit my children here whenever possible. Again, thank you all for coming, and may God bless the United States. Thank you. Thank you.
Stockton will now present the national anthem, Ensign and Reed relieve the watch.
Flag. The certificate reads, this is to certify that the accompanying flag was flown over the United States Capitol on 14 June 1996 at the request of the Honorable O.M.B. Pickett, Member of Congress. This flag was flown for SKCS SW Francisco S. Fillalan on the occasion of his retirement from the United States Navy on September 1996 after 26 years of honorable and faithful service to his country. William L. Ensign, architect of the Capitol. On behalf of your friends and shipmates, including those that have made the supreme sacrifice, we wish to present what is known as the military member's most honored and cherished possession, the United States National Ensign. The flag of the United States of America, one great nation which you have so proudly served and honorably defended. This flag which we so honor and under which we so proudly serve is a true emblem of our unity, our power, our purpose as a nation. Accept it, protect it, guard it, and ever so remember that the young men and women you have trained, guided, and inspired will follow in your footsteps and defend it with equal pride. It is considered that we have lost a true shipmate while society has gained a fine citizen. We bid you fair winds in the following seas. Good luck and Godspeed. Bosun mate, stand by to fight beside. Spanish, French, English, Dutch, yes, all navies of the world use the bosun, side boys, and called officers, dignitaries, and VIPs. Side boys were hauled in on the lines to raise or lower the boarding platform so officers would not have to climb the rat lines when going ashore or to get aboard. This honor was extended to visiting officers, dignitaries, and port officials. It was not uncommon for the commanding officer of a ship to order up a jolly boat. A crew of 8 strong backs, side boys, and a bosun to send an old shipmate, fellow sailor, to shore retirement, home, never to sail on ships again. All hands on deck was passed. Speeches were made about great victories, battles fought upon the open sea, raging storms weathered, and voyages to distant and strange lands, ports of call others only dreamed about. Then a fine sword, a brace of pistols, a rifle or a musket, or maybe a sea chest, of fine wood and bound in brass was presented to remind him of the crews and the ships on which he served. The bosun and side boys would stand tall. The retiree would request permission to go ashore, step to the platform, and the side boys would lower away. As the jolly boat pulled away, the gunner would fire a salute from the ship's main battery. The retiree sat in the stern sheets, going ashore. Today our Navy has given up most of the pomp and circumstances, the honors, traditions, and ceremonies back in history does not give us the freedom to do these things today, but we still heed to stop all engines, lay about smartly, and drop anchor to pay anchor to one of our shipmates going ashore. To honor the years served, the guidance, the leadership, the friendship, and expertise that this shipmate has freely given for 26 years. I, mate, for many years, Senior Chief Fillalan has stood the watch. While some of us lay in our bunks at night, this man stood the watch. While others of us were attending school, this sailor stood the watch. And yes, even before many of us were born, this shipmate stood the watch. As our families watched storm clouds and war building on the horizons of history, this shipmate stood the watch. For 26 years, he has stood the watch, so that we and our fellow countrymen would sleep soundly in safety and peace each night. Today we are here to say, shipmate, the watch stands relieved. Relieved by those you have led, guided, and trained. Senior Chief, you stand relieved. We have the watch.
Salt craft unit 2. Post the side boys. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction.
Let us pray. Oh, loving God, the end of another chapter of life for Senior Chief has come. Although there is some sadness, we ask you stretch out your loving embrace upon him and upon his family. Anchor them in a trust for you that is greater than the ocean view they encountered in San Diego. A trust that is more awesome than the sunrise of Naples, more powerful than the wasp, a trust that will lead them on to even greater things. For Lord, there is a time and a place for every event under the heavens. And today is the day for Senior Chief and his family. May they realize always our gratitude for their honor, their dedication, their friendliness, their commitment to God and to country. Be with them today, Lord, and always, we pray.
We will now observe Storekeeper Senior Chief Payoff for Fillalan being piped to shore. Storekeeper, Surface Warfare, Air Warfare, Fillalan, United States Navy, retired, departed. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. All guests and petty officers are most cordially invited to join the reception immediately following the ceremony. Thank you all for attending. Start back in 2. Dismissed.